Hello everyone. In this tutorial we are going to learn about rational functions example 2. So this function is a little bit complicated than the first one, so we are going to learn more stuff than what we did in the first example. It's a little bit harder, and is more information as well. So first of all, we are going to find the domain, same thing, the vertical asymptotes and the oblique asymptote. The first example doesn't have oblique asymptotes, and there are different ways how you can do that, you find it. So let's find the domain first. So what is the domain for this function? We can call it the j. How we can find it is just same thing. We find where is the restrictions is here is okay, so the bottom shouldn't be equal to 0, therefore x squared minus 4 shouldn't equal to 0, and for x minus 2 times x plus 2 shouldn't be equal to 0. Therefore x shouldn't be equal to 2 and x shouldn't be equal to negative 2. Therefore the g is equal to minus infinity minus 2 union minus 2 union 2 infinity. So this is the answer, first answer for the domain. This is the domain here. In second step, we're going to do finding the vertical asymptotes. We call it number 2. Number 2, finding the vertical asymptote. The vertical asymptote is very simply there is going to be those two here, x equal 2 and x equal negative 2. There when the function not a rational function where is not is undefined, so those they will be the vertical asymptote. Therefore the vertical asymptotes are going to be x equal 2 and x equal minus 2. So these 2 points here, these 2 lines, so it's going to be something like that. Let's just do it rough. It's going to be something like this, and it's going to be a line in 1 2 1 2, something like this and something like this. How does the vertical lines for this function? Now we're going to find the oblique asymptotes. So how we are going to find the oblique asymptote? We call it number 3. If we set x goes to plus or minus infinity, we note that g of x is going to plus minus infinity. When we find this here, we see this we note this here, we know is a possible that we have an oblique asymptote. So what we're going to do next step, we do when x going to plus minus infinity, we're going to study g of x over x. In this case is going to be 4x to the third plus 5x plus 9 divided by x multiply in other one, you give you x to the third minus 4. So it's going to be, when we have x going to plus or minus infinity, we ignore all this number, just we work with the highest power of the polynomial. So in this case it will be just going to be 4 x to the third over x. So we cancel this, just give us 4. So now we have 4. We know that this function, the curve of this function has an oblique asymptote, and this is going to be the slope is equal to m. Let's give it a letter m because it will be the slope of the line m. So what's the oblique asymptote in this case? Is going to be something like this. We give it maybe d is going to be 4x plus b. So now we have to find b. Let's go to the next page and try to find b. To find b, we do this step here. When x going to plus minus infinity, we're going to see where f g of x minus 4x going to be. So let's do it. Is going to give us is 4x to the third plus 5x plus 9 over x squared minus 4 minus 4x. Let's find the common denominator. It will be this here. Just we multiply the top and this here. We multiply the top and the bottom with the same as x squared minus 4. Let's do that. So it's going to give us 4x to the third plus 5x plus 9 minus 4x times x squared minus 4 everything over x squared minus 4. So it's going to give us, let's do it just the bottom here, it's going to give us 4x to the third plus 5x plus 9 minus 4x to the third plus 16x over x squared minus 4. It's going to give us here, change the color, it's going to give us this one here. I'm going to cancel with this, so it's going to give us 21x plus 9 over x squared minus 4. We said that x is going to plus minus infinity, so we just choose the highest power. They are going to be those here. So this one here is going to be equal to 21x over x squared, and we can cancel x. This is give us just 0. Therefore we know that y equal 4x plus 0 is just equal 4x is an oblique asymptote. So that this asymptote is going to be something like this here, to have an idea, think like this. So we found first the verticals, one here and one here, and the other one is going to be something like this, is 4x. So when x moves 1, when x moves 1 here, y is going to move 4, 1 2 3 4, so it will be something like here. So it will be 1 1 2 3 4, so it will be something like here, this point here and here. It's going from the origin, so it's going to be just something like this and passes the origin. So we have all the asymptotes right now. So next we are going to find the real zeros of this function. So finding the real zeros, we just work with the top of this function. So let's see, we have 4 4x to the third plus 5x plus 9 is equal to 0. To factor this one here, we have to do the relationship is called P over Q, and P is going to be the factors of the 9, and Q is the factors of the fourth. So what is the factors of the 9? The factor of the 9s is going to be plus minus 1, plus minus 3, and plus minus 9. And of the Q is going to be plus minus 1. Q means is 4. It will be this 4. Plus minus 2 and plus minus 4. So what we are going to do, see what is going to give us the possible zeros. They will be one of if we have any, they will be from this list. So we divide this by this negative plus minus 1 by this, and plus minus 3 divided again by those, and plus it will be give us like 9 numbers. So it will be plus minus 1, and we have plus minus 3, we have plus minus 9. We divide the top by plus minus 1, and we have plus minus 1 over 2, and we have plus minus 3 over 2, we have plus minus 9 over 2. Now dividing by 4, plus minus 1 over 4, we have plus minus 3 over 4, and we have 9 plus minus 9 over 4. So if we have any asymptote, is going to be one of this here, one of this list. So what we're going to do, we have to do g of -1, g of +1, g of 3, g of -3 until we find which one. So in this case, let's try some of them. Just we have g of 1 is going to give us 4 plus 5 plus 9 is equal to 18. So plus 1 is not correct, just cancel it. Let's try -1. G of -1 is going to be -4 minus 5 plus 9 is equal to 0. So we know that we were lucky, it was very simple. We have here give us 0, so we know that -1 is a real 0 for this function, So listen, do next step we're going to do synthetic division to find if there are another zeros. What we are going to do, we are going to divide 4x to the third plus 5x plus 9 divided by x minus 1, x plus 1, because we have -1. So what we're going to do, we are going to put number 1 here, something like this. We are going to put here we have 4, we have 0, we have 5, and we have 9. We put those numbers here because we have here 4x to the third and 0x to the second should be here. We have 5 and we have 9. What we are going to do, we are putting this 4 here down. So we're going to multiply this -1 in 4 and put it in the top here. We multiply this here, and we multiply or put it here. So the number we get, we multiply, we get it here, and the number we get, we multiply and we get it here. And so we will know this is how we do it. Very simple. There are other ways, but this is the easy way actually. So we have 4 give us here -4 So here give us negative 4. Negative 4 multiplied in negative 1 is just 4, give us 9. Negative 1 multiplied in 9 is negative 9, give us 0. How we see is the remainder is just 0. Therefore, we know that 4x to the third plus 5x plus 9 is just equal to x plus 1 times 4x squared minus 4x plus 9. I forgot to mention it. When in this you take those numbers here, you lower the degree by 1. Here we have x to the third, we make it x to the second. Here we have x squared, we make it x. And here we have x, we make it 0. We make it 1 because just x to the power 0 just 1. So we know that this is equal to this. So we're going to now to see if we have any real zeros here. This one here. So how we do that is something called the discriminant, and always we give the letter delta is just equal b squared minus 4ac. When we have a quadratic formula in standard form, and this is in standard form, and we have this here, this is a, and this is b, and this is c, because it's written as ax squared plus bx plus c. So we have it here. If this one here equal to 0, we know this here has one solution, has one solution. If is equal to a number is bigger than 0, so this one has two solutions, real solutions talking about. However, if this one here is smaller than 0, this function has 0 solution, doesn't have a solution. So we're going to see which one the solution we will have, if we have one solution, or two solutions, or 0 solutions. When we have 0 solutions, means the solutions are complex numbers. They will have 2, but they are complex number. They are not real zeros, so it doesn't count in functions. So let's see what this is going to give us here. So we'll give us equal to b squared is just minus 4 squared is just 16 minus 4 multiply in 4 multiply in 9. This 4 here is this one here, and this 4 here is just 4 is this a, and 9 is just c. So it's going to give us here, it will be 16, and this one 16 multiply in 9 is 144 minus 16 is just 128, negative 128. We see in this case we have it is negative, so has no solution, has no solution. In this case, this function has just one real zero, and is going to be x equal negative 1 is the only real zero that this function has. So let's do something else. We're going to learn more about this function, how it's going to be, how it looks and everything, without even sketching it, just by using a table and see everything and understand it. So without even doing that, to see if we are doing the right thing or not. So let's see. So we have this function here. Have here 0. We put x here, and negative infinity, and we put is negative 1, and we put negative 2, and we put 2. What does it mean? Where they are coming from? Negative 1 where this is equal to 0, and negative 2 and 2 where this equal to 0. So this we'll have, and we are going to put in other side, we are going to put 4x to the third plus 5x plus 9. We put here x squared minus 4, and we put here j of x, and we put here cg. Cg means the graph of j. The function, so we know where is positive, where is negative, where is going to infinity, where is going to negative infinity. We are going to see everything. So we see here in 2 we have this equal to 0 here, and is undefined here. Same thing here, equals 0 and undefined. So we know those here, they are the graph, he never touched those here, because we know this is a vertical line. It will be x equal 2 and x equal negative 2. We know this point here, and we have in negative 1 this is equal to 0 and makes the function equal to 0. We know in this point here it will be the x-axis here, is passing the x-axis in this point here, and this point is negative 1 0. We can call it negative 1 0. Okay, we have everything here. Let's see where is this function going to plus. Well, let's see the sign. So this graph here is going to be negative here and negative here, positive and positive, because just plug in numbers. If you plug a number in this side here, it's going to be negative, and because this is negative, for example, we put negative 3 is 27, is 68, plus this one is negative as well, is negative, the number. So we see here it's going to give us this case here, positive, negative, negative, and positive. So the sign of gx, it will be negative here, and it will be positive here, it will be negative here, and it's going to be positive here, because how that comes from, because multiplying negative and positive is negative, multiplying positive, negative and negative is positive, multiplying or dividing positive with negative is just negative, and so on. And we see in this point here, we see where is the graph is going. It's going to plus infinity or minus infinity. It could be something like this, it could be something like this, or could be something like this, it could be something like this. We have to see and to have an idea. So what we have here a negative number, we have here a negative number, and divided by a number is close to 0 here, is this is almost 0, and we have a negative number, and we have this number here is very tiny but is positive. So we see here negative divided by positive is negative number, since is this here is normal number, but this is almost 0. So we know in this case is going to be almost negative infinity here. Is from this side here is going to negative infinity, because we're dividing a number by very tiny number, is very small, and is almost equal to 0. And if we see this side here, if in this side we see where it's going, if we take this here and we divide it by this, it's still 4x, but it's going to infinity. We know in this side here is going to negative infinity as well. Is going to negative infinity as well. So just from here we see that the graph is something like this. And let's go to the other side. Same thing here, we have negative by negative is positive, but this number is very small, close to 0. So we know the graph here is going to plus infinity to infinity. in the right side of the asymptote is going to plus infinity. This side here we have positive number divided by a very small number but is negative. We know this is going to negative infinity. And here is going to positive infinity. Same thing, is positive and positive going to plus infinity. So from here we know the graph is going to do something like this, coming from plus infinity and cross the 0 here in -1, and then goes to plus infinity. And same thing here, I forget this one here, we see is positive. If you put infinity in this one here, is give you just 4x, is give you 4x dividing this by this, it's just 4x, but is x going to plus infinity, so here is going to be plus infinity as well. So in this case we see the graph is going to be something like this. Going to be something like this. So let's graph it in a real plane and see how it's going to be look like. So let's do that. We said we have a vertical asymptote here in 2, and we have another one in -2, and we have one is passing by this is x equal 2, this is x equal -2. We have one is y equal 4x, so will be 1 here passing by here and passing by 4. Where is 4? This is 10, this is 10 here, so will be 4. This is 5, 4 is something like this here. So let's put the point there. We're passing by here and by here. So it's going to be something like this. So it's going to be something like that. So those are the asymptotes we have, and the function is going to be, to have a nice color here, light one. So it's going to be, we said going from, it's going to be something like this, something like this. And it's going to be something like this. And here is going to be something like this, and passing 1. And if we put y x equal to 0, if we put x equal to 0, this will be 0, this will be 0, and it's going to give us -9/4 when x equal to 0. So the graph is going to pass by -9/4, so will be something like almost 2 or something. It will be something like this passing here in this case. So it's going to be passing something here and then go here. So this is the graph is going to be. Something like this. We have a chance to know this point here, what is the, where is going to be, but we do that using the derivatives f prime x when is equal to 0. So if you solve for x prime, it will be give you this here, it will be equal to 0, and you know what's the value of this point here. If you would like, you can subscribe in my channel, and as soon as I do that, so you can receive a notification, so you can see the video about calculus, everything about the calculus. Layer by layer I'm going to raise the level of the math, and so you don't miss anything, so you will be able to know more stuff about function using the calculus. Then derivatives, for example the derivative f prime and f double prime, to know where is the graph is concaving, is going to be something like this, concave down or concave up. You will know if the function is increasing or something decreasing, depend of the sign of this one. If it's positive, it will be something decreasing, increasing. If it's negative, it will be something increasing, something like that, going down. So if you would like, just subscribe in my channel. As soon as I will do that, you will receive it. And thank you for watching.